to me, you are all I want for
Queen.
Let me
Happy
turn down
holidays.
the Christmas tunes.
Yes. What are these tunes in which we are listening in this living room, in this here fourth living room?
We are by the fireplace, obviously, and we are jamming to Christmas Gift by Amber Hairston.
Yes.
So
Putting
find that on
Christmas feels.
Tidal, iTunes, etc. Find Amber Hairston. She's got a lot of good music on the streaming sites, but this here is Christmas Gift. Get us in the Christmas mood. We are actually recording on Christmas Day, so whenever you're listening to this, just know we are spending our holiday talking to you hoes. You ho-ho-hos.
Mm-hmm. Which is okay for me because if y'all know me, y'all know the only holidays I care about are Black History Month and Halloween, so...
Okay, and that is not a bad start. I will say, party people, that tomorrow will be the first day of Kwanzaa. If you want to celebrate that or look into that this year. I was telling somebody a couple days ago, like they were like, yeah, I would like to get into it, but I don't, really know anything about it. I was like, honestly, it was created in the 60s, which means it's a very, very new holiday. And that you can literally do all your research for it in about 10 minutes. Like there's anything that you Google, you'll probably find just a one-page website of how to celebrate, what it is, what it represents. But long story short, it was started in the 60s, actually in Long Beach, California.
Mm-hmm. By Karenga, right?
Mm-hmm, by Dr.
The informant?
Maulana Karenga.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, sometimes it's the message and not the messenger. But it was to bring unity into the Black community with all that was going on in the 1960s. And so Kwanzaa is a celebration lasting 7 days from December 26th through January 1st.
Come on now, give us a lesson.
Come on, I'm here for the lessons of things. So the 7 principles are Umoja, Kujichagulia, Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Kumba, and Imani. So that means unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. I actually have all of those principles.
Came out. I'm sorry, I was going to say this absolutely came out in the 60s /70s.
Correct.
When you hear those words, I just think Black Panther.
Yep.
I just think
and in California,
Black Power. Yep. My bad, but continue. My bad.
So basically, it's all about unity in our communities and circulating the Black dollar and just believing in each other and protecting each other. So if you want to learn about that, again, you can just do a quick Google search. It's a very new and I don't want to say small holiday, but basically very easy to learn about and to honor and respect. I have these principles written down. I wrote them January 1st last year and on a piece of paper, and I read them every day along with these 7 agreements just to keep me in tune with what Kwanzaa means. And it basically is just celebrating of our people and unity of our people, shopping with each other, celebrating Black business, not just whenever you have your own, like celebrating it, when you want to support others, and how we just keep each other safe by keeping that Black dollar within each other. And then on the last day of Kwanzaa, there's actually a gift giving day. But for those gifts, they are ideal to be handmade, hand created at home, or letters of affirmations, etc., to give to one another. So taking away kind of the capitalistic, materialistic aspect of what the Christmas holiday has turned into, where we just like, I don't have enough money, but I'm still trying to get 14 more gifts for everybody. And it's just like, that is just not what it's about, And especially if we have the spirit of loving and giving and supporting year round, then a big major materialistic holiday can mean that much less because you're used to being that kind of person and you're not just doing it for the sake of a holiday. So so Kwanzaa starts off tomorrow. I'm excited. My aunt sent me a Kanara, which is the candle holder, so I'm excited to use that.
Oh, that's dope. And if y'all don't want to go to Google and find out about Kwanzaa, you can always go over to your local Disney Plus and watch the Christmas episode of The Proud Family.
Oh, correct.
They definitely celebrated Kwanzaa. I feel like that stuff was so foreign to me as a child. Like I remember watching it and being like, "What the hell is this? Like, what these Black folks talking about?" and
dressed in their kente, you be looking like, I don't know what this is.
Right. Like, but again, I have to be so thankful to these different networks for doing these things, even if it went over my head or our heads as children, right? Like, shout out to Disney for putting the black show, the black cartoon show they had on there, and taking an episode to talk about Kwanzaa, and literally being like these two families, like one who's about Christmas and one who's about Kwanzaa, coming together and like learning from the family about what Kwanzaa was, and it's just appreciating gifts, right? Because the family that was teaching about Kwanzaa was like, actually they weren't in, they ended up not being real at all, but they were like, homeless and stuff. I just thought it was just such a cool, dope episode.
Yeah,
I might watch the episode today.
You know, what a great way to spend today. Or maybe we should just watch it for 7 days straight for the whole celebration.
Yeah, I also might watch Tyler Perry movies for the next 7 days straight too.
Okay, hey, circulate that black dollar.
Hey,
but, it's just interesting because a lot of people hear Kwanzaa and they think it must be some African holiday or some religious holiday, and it actually has literally nothing to do with Christmas, nothing to do with religion. It's just about solidarity within our people, and anybody can celebrate. You can celebrate Christmas and Kwanzaa. You are fully allowed to do those things. And
it actually is birth of a African American person too. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that was the whole point. Like, it sounding like that, of course, was, probably a, like throwing it back to the roots type of thing. But like, it is dope to know that, again, like, this actually, not to say it would be anything wrong with it if it were African, but it's like, nah, this is us. Like, this is our people made this. Again, just so another way of black people. For those of us who think that black Americans don't have no culture, we got Kwanzaa though. Oh yeah, we got the things like Ta-Nehisi Coates in Between the World and Me. Is one of his quotes that I really like by him, was when he said that they made us a race, we made ourselves a people. Because there's so many like different things that black people have done just to create their own spaces and to create their own culture, right? Like, so Kwanzaa is just another example of that. So I definitely, every year I say I'm going to celebrate, and every year I basically forget. But it's just not like a habit for me. Like, Christmas is a habit, you know what I'm saying? That's what I grew up doing. So it's like, oh, Christmas is here. But like every year, I'm going to read about Kwanzaa and I'm going to celebrate, and every year I forget. So hey, you know what? I got like the next 4 days off, so there will be no better time than now for me to celebrate Kwanzaa.
Yeah, so and again, it's really, really easy. It's as simple as kind of like reading the definition of that day and just moving with intention for that day. So, for unity, just find ways that you think unite our communities together. You could be sharing a black business, sharing a black movie, a book, you know what I'm saying? Like, anything that brings unity to us. It could be as simple as going out your way to leave nice comments on a bunch of black people's social medias. You know what I'm saying? Like, unity can mean anything. And I think that's the beauty of Kwanzaa. You can make it whatever is important to you and whatever makes you feel good and makes you feel, just like celebrated in your black culture.
Absolutely. So yeah, shout out to those of y'all who are celebrating, who have, by the time you hear this, celebrated Christmas, and those of you who are celebrating Kwanzaa, because this will be out before Kwanzaa is over. So yeah, thank you for sharing that information with us, Queen, and for inspiring me to actually do what I said I was going to do for like at least the last 4 years, because I think I probably started wanting to celebrate Kwanzaa after I started reading Black history. So I'm finally there. I'm ready now. I'm at that place in my journey now.
Come on, get in your bag. There's actually a book that I found. It's on one of my carts online. I don't know, probably Amazon, to be honest, but I haven't bought it yet. But there's a book. It's called like How to Celebrate Kwanzaa Year Round or something like that. And that's what made me last year write down basically the papers that I'm going to look at every single day and the papers that I read every single day. That's what made me want to write the 7 principles on there, just to make sure that I'm living in and embracing the principles of Kwanzaa in my everyday life throughout the year. So.
Absolutely. That's dope. So we ready to move into month in review?
Yeah.
Look back at it.
Look back at it. Look back at it.
All right, Queen. Take us forward.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Let's start on a positive note, shall we, party people? Last episode, we talked to you guys about Teyana Taylor, and for one, giving her roses, and for two, allowing her to have the space to retire if that be what she so choose, being that she is a super talented, multifaceted woman and can make her ducats in any kind of way that she feels like it. With that being said, about 2 days after her social media announcement of retiring, she logged on to pin us a little caption along with a photo to let us whores know that she is now the creative director for Pretty Little Thing. So if you don't know what Pretty Little Thing is, it's a very cute, like women's boutique, so to speak. Online is similar to Fashion Nova, I guess you will. It is UK based. And Teyana Taylor has been a brand ambassador for them for, I would say, at least a year, but I feel like I've seen her work with him for 2 to 3 years. But anyway, she will be creative directing. She has a year-long partnership with the fashion e-tailer, and I think they have like one flagship store here in LA, if I'm not mistaken, but otherwise I think they're only located in the UK. But I could be wrong. But anyway, she says she describes her first collection will be girly and tomboy, sizes 0 to 26 in the plus size category. And we should expect denim jumpsuits, oversized jackets, sweatpants, pieces in faux leather, wool, and a series of skin-tight cutout mini dresses. Because as we know, the good queen Teyana Taylor can wear it all. She can wear a trash bag and look great. And that's because she's going to throw on some fly shoes and maybe some big-ass sunglasses or something. But the queen be dressing, okay? We call her Ranch indeed, because she be dressing. So congratulations, Teyana Taylor, on being a creative director for a Pretty Little Thing. That is really cool. So happy for you, queen. Get your ducats.
Yeah, I had no idea. I actually, because I pulled up Instagram now to see what you was talking about. I actually saw this picture, but, I told you I had been not with the celebrity things as of late, so I just browsed over it and didn't realize that she had announced that she was the creative director. But that's so dope. Well, I guess not as everybody would know because Teyana Taylor's fans ain't shit, as she told us. So maybe y'all don't know. But I am a fan and very inspired by her in general, just how many creative outlets she has. Being someone who has amazing style, right? Being a great artist as far as her music is concerned, and then branching out into doing directing and things like that as far as filmmaking and music videos, that kind of thing. And then now the whole creative director with Pretty Little Things. Like, I love people who have lots of talents and talent in general. So yeah, shout out to her. Very happy for her. And I love that it came right after she announced that she was retiring from music, because I feel like it's just affirmations from the universe. Like, yeah, girl, we got you. Mm-hmm. Do what makes you happy. And here's another thing to do with your time. Mm-hmm. Here for that.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm really happy for her, because I feel like if your first creative director experience as far as fashion starts with Pretty Little Thing, you only going up from here, girl. So that's really exciting.
Oh yeah, and she to me has as far as style wise, I can only imagine like the potential she has to be great. Like, as far as continuing to quote unquote move up the ladder, as far as getting up there to those, I guess, those higher end brands and stuff. Mm-hmm. I could definitely see her being like a creative director for something very, very expensive.
Yeah. And it's just the idea of saying in almost any situation, hey, our creative director is a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, because Pretty Little Thing, to my knowledge, is not Black owned. Like Fashion Nova, you know what I'm saying? Also not Black owned. So to say our creative director is a Black woman, a young Black woman at that, it's just really exciting. I'm happy for her.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Well, that's all I had for Teyana Taylor. Did you have any look back edits? Because I had one more.
Oh, I was just going to say, run me my stimulus check. Run me my 2K. Please, Donald, since that's what you're holding us up for.
We're not getting 2K, and also the Republicans just shot that shit down. So I don't know why people suck Donald Trump's dick so fucking hard.
I know. What makes me so upset about the whole thing is like, I saw Representative Ayanna Pressley. She was basically talking about, all she wants for Christmas is, y'all to help the American people out is what I want for Christmas. But then, she was just talking about just this, like, the fact that people have gone without, right? Like, for me, again, like, you have to look outside your comfortability, right? Like, throughout this pandemic, as far as financially speaking, as far as like what other people have been worried about, right? Food and shelter and jobs. I haven't worried about those things. But so when I think about not getting a stimulus check, I'm just thinking, because I'm trying to get my camera, right? But there are people who are thinking, I need this for rent, I need this for food, I need this to keep my electricity on or whatever. And so it is very crazy to really think that our government gave us $1,200 months ago and has done nothing else since. And there are other governments that have been doing the whole monthly $1,200 thing this whole time.
85% of wages, 100% of wages, 65% of wages. I think like one of the lowest is 60% of wages, which is like, well, America could never, girl. But actually, we can get into more later. I have another topic that we can cover to express our frustrations.
Okay.
Okay. Well, my second part of my look back at it goes to the latter half of the Tia and TaMAGA Mowrys.
Oh, hell no. No. We're not.
I'm sorry,
We're
friend.
not.
I'm sorry, friend. I must.
Okay, no,
Must.
I'm turning off the podcast. I'm hanging up because the same way you are with Beyonce, y'all will not call her TaMAGA.
Listen, friend, I'm sorry. I just have to say these things.
Okay, well, don't ever forget about them bangs that Beyonce had on that one time.
Leave Paris bangs in Paris, okay? She did that in Paris because that's what the Parisian hoes were looking for, okay? Damn, let Beyonce live. Okay, so Remy Ma was minding her black ass business and posted a photograph on her Instagram of her husband and baby father, Papoose, and she said, "Ain't nothing like black love. ... Hashtag meet the Mackies.
Oh my
hashtag
God, you are not making this a thing.
Remy Ma. Hashtag Remy Mafia. Hashtag Pretty Brown."
We're not making this a thing. This is
No,
not a thing.
friend. No, we are. And TaMAGA says, "You guys are adorable," with a kissy face emoji, and then proceeds to say, "Although I love me some interracial love too."
Here we go again with y'all dragging these celebrities for just being regular folks.
No. Because had that because had that been anyone else, you would have been like, "Bitch, what?" Had that been
I would not have.
Okay. Had that been Alexis Ohanian talking about black love is cool and all, but actually, when black women love us white guys, it's much better. Girl, why did you even have to say that? You couldn't just stop with "you guys are adorable"? Sydney, I don't care. You know I'm right. You know I am correct.
No, because listen. Let me tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. So what it is for me is like we just had this conversation. We had this conversation last night about celebrities just like deserving to just be able to get on Instagram and say a thing here, say a thing there, tweet a thing here, tweet a thing there, and not get dragged every time they say anything. Y'all was dragging Cardi for her $80,000 bag or whatever the hell much that bag was. Then y'all dragged Kiki over the EBT situation, and now y'all gonna drag Tamara about the interracial thing. Like,
she could have just said, "You guys are adorable." When this black woman is celebrating her black ass husband, you got to say, but white men. That's where it's at. Girl, first of all, your Trump supporting white man is not where it's at. And
Wait, how do you know? Does he really support Trump?
He is a Republican Fox News reporter, or former, because sis lost his job, but a former, reporter for Fox News, Republican, and he has been on the voter fraud train of Donald Trump.
Oh no! Oh God! Oh God!
To say the least, because there's a lot more. I can't say direct Trump support that I saw. I didn't do all of the research in the world, but I know everybody's been saying like he's a Trump supporter, and I never saw like on his Instagram, "Go Trump," but I knew that he said. I knew that he was a Republican, I'll say that. And so now that he's like, voter fraud, you guys need to recount the things, and look at this. I'm just like, oh, God, girl.
Oh, wow. I just feel as if we have bigger fish to fry. And
you're just saying that because it's Tamara. And I feel that, friend. I understand that you like the Tamara, but I'm just saying Tia is the only Mowry I recognize. And people were like, see, this is why BET said happy birthday to your sister, not you, bitch.
No, listen. I'm really not just saying that because of Tamara. We just had this conversation last night. Like, I personally, but I'm not on the dragging. I'm not into the draggings anyway. Like, I've never in my life, no matter what a celebrity has done, even when 50 Cent said that thing about angry black women, right? I didn't go drag him. So, like, I'm just not a dragging Instagrammer and or tweeter.
I don't feel like that's dragging, personally. I could call you a dumb hoe and not, like, drag you through the mud. I could just say what I said and keep it pushing, just like you said what you said. She got to say what she said about black love, and I can say what I want to say about her interracial love.
Okay. And we're going to have to agree to disagree. But I understand. I feel like if you hadn't brought that up, I would have just kept, like, you know how, like, do you ever wonder if everybody else hadn't made a big deal of it, if you would have? Because now hindsight bias. Because I'm like, I wouldn't have made a big deal out of that.
I think that's for a lot of things, but I think for me as an individual to see somebody saying, "Oh my God, I love my black husband," and somebody who's married to a white man comes out of nowhere saying, but interracial. Girl, what are you talking about? I'm just celebrating my black man. If you don't like black men, you could have just not commented at all. You didn't have to say you're adorable, but white men are where it's at. You could have just kept that to yourself. And I would have said that about anybody. Because you know how I feel about the internet trolls. They are always saying something when you could be like, when most of the time you look at it, you be like, why didn't you just shut up? Like, why did you have to say anything at all? Like, you could have just not.
Okay. Yeah. It's not because y'all know in general, I'm always going to have a very special place in my heart for Tamara Campbell and Tia Landry.
And those are not these people, Sid.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, so don't get it twisted. I know that they're not above reprieve, but in my head, I'm just like, I think I probably would have just kept it pushing if I had seen that.
Yeah, I just feel bad for her children.
Yeah, I saw somebody say, because I have heard the folks call her TaMAGA before. And I saw somebody say we should have known when she said that she was going to let her white racist relatives raise her children if she died or something like that.
Oh.
And I don't know.
And she also asked what they were teaching kids by having Bert and Ernie on
Oh, yeah. I also saw that going viral, and I was like, and actually, it wasn't for me. It wasn't even the question. It was like when Jeannie went to respond and tell her why, like I just thought she was being very rude and very dismissive when Jeannie was trying to explain it to her. And that's really what bothered me about that clip. Because sometimes you really just don't get it, right? Like, especially again, being cis and heterosexual, you really might not understand how important it is or how other people are not being represented or don't feel represented. Because I just now recently, right? I am a whole 26, about to be 26 again in January.
Correct.
And it just dawned on me that when it comes to the representation of big women on television, I don't know how many big women are on TV who aren't playing either mammies, right? Like the very sweet grandma, or like the Nikki Parkers, like they're always comedians. Like, and that just hit me. Why? Because again, I do have skinny privilege. I might be dark skinned, I might be a natural hair, I might be a black woman, I might be black, I might be a woman, right? But that is the one part of my intersectionality that doesn't exist for me, right? So it was easy for me to ignore that all this time until one of my friends was like, I've never felt represented. And I was like, huh. And so I started to think, and I was like, oh, So say that to say, maybe for her in that moment, I get the question, like, I don't understand why this is important. Well, if you're not a gay person or a lesbian or whatever, then you might not get it. So, but it was just her response to Jeannie, if that makes sense. That was more so like you're grossing me out. But yeah, and so say all that to say, in general, I know that Tamara Mowry is quite problematic. Not my good Tamara Campbell, whom I love.
Oh yeah, Tamara Campbell, I'm sure is a grand individual.
I think Tamara Campbell would have went to a HBCU.
Really? I think she would have went to community college.
Oh damn!
She not want to go to school?
You know what? I forgot she did go to college on the show. Like, I don't know why I said that,
but like, I know she wasn't supposed to go to school with her sister, but ended up finessing, right?
Yeah, they both went to like University of Michigan, I think. Now, see, you know, I consider myself to be an expert on the sister things. But anyway, what I was gonna say with what I mean by that is Tia gives me Harvard. She gives me Harvard, and Tamara gives me HBCU. Like, she gives me Delta. She gives me like basically all of the. She gives me all. You know
what?
Like,
I was about to be shady,
things.
But I don't want the people to come.
What was you about to say? She gives you AKA.
No, but it wasn't gonna be Delta. I wasn't gonna say AKA either. But I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Tamara definitely gives. What I mean by that is like she gives me black. Like she gives me. I'm going to do all the black things. Not to say you're not black if you don't join a sorority, because I know how y'all do. Lord, y'all will take somebody's words and run. I ain't trying to say you're not black if you didn't go to HBCU.
She's not trying to say you have to like interracial love, guys.
Right. But I'm saying she gives me neck bones and collard greens, and Tamara gives me vegan. I mean, Tia gives me vegan.
I am weak. Because, you know, there are different kinds of blacks. You know
what I'm saying? And they're all valuable. But Tamara definitely gives me fried chicken Wednesday.
Come on, and fried chicken Wednesday? In the calf, come on.
In the calf, okay, with the fit, okay, right? Because
Tia gives, right?
You know what I'm saying? Tia gives me books and a nice something healthy. Maybe a smoothie.
This is random, but I saw a TikTok yesterday, and it was like when you drop a plate, and it said in the HBCU, but I feel like people say that because they haven't been to other colleges, which means they don't know it's the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's in some degrees. But anyway, the girl said when you drop your plate in a calf at a HBCU, and it was like one girl, she stands up, the plate falls off her lap, and then she like, you know, TikTok, she puts her face 1,000,000 times on the screen, and it's a bunch of niggas going, wow, 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 wow. And I was like, little do they know, it is equally embarrassing when you go to a school with 30,000 students and you drop a plate in a calf.
Mm-hmm.
They will also fry your ass up. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah,
I don't have any more look back at it.
I don't know how in the world I started talking about who I think Tia and TaMAGA would be as adults.
And Fried Chicken Wednesday.
And Fried Chicken Wednesday, yeah. But welcome back, guys.
Welcome back to our show.
Now we are going to Blank While Black, right?
Yes. Blank While Black. Dang. Okay, I found it. So in my Blank While Black, I wanted to take us back to history just a bit before I bring us back to the present. And this Blank While Black is going to be a little bit different than how we usually do it because it's actually positive for once. So in Blank While Black, to take it back in history, from 1920 to 1948, Black players competed in about 7 different leagues for baseball because they were not allowed to compete in the MLB, the Major League Baseball. So they had to create their own leagues, just for Black people because the whites thought that we wouldn't be good at sports. So up until 1947, when Jackie Robinson had integrated the Major League Baseball as the first Black player on the Brooklyn Dodgers, we did not have our own league. So again, they had to make their own leagues as Black people to play against each other. And they shattered all kinds of records, both within their own leagues and if they were able to include the MLB. So now in 2020, they will officially be adding the stats of the Negro League Baseball records to the MLB game statistics. So no longer, girls, will your favorite whites be holding any of the records. And I said what I said. So in Blank While Black, while you may not have been originally allowed to play with everyone else, just know, girls, the records were going to get shattered regardless. So if you want to hold them side by side or not, it's up to you. Because at the end of the day, while your leagues were being racist, you guys, even with your best records, were still the only best white records. Because if you're talking about best overall, we're going to have to sprinkle in that Negro League Baseball.
I would just like to say, again, back to what I mentioned earlier on this here episode of this podcast, Black people will create, okay? Again, I would like to reiterate what Ta-Nehisi Coates said in Between the World and Me, which if you have not read it before, it is one of my top 5 favorite books, especially back when I originally read it. That, again, they made us a race, we made ourselves a people. Like, we are the shit. Like, when they shut us out of everything, we made our own every single time. Blaxploitation films, the Negro baseball leagues, right? Like, we had our own businesses. Like, and thinking about the Nation of Islam, right? Having all those Black-owned businesses back then. And, well, mind you, of course, that was a different time period. But I'm just talking about in general, Black people had just always found a way out of nothing. And I'm just, of all the things that comes along with it, I'm just always just happy to be Black because it might be a struggle and they might kill us. They might kill us all. They ain't managed to do it yet, but they might. We'll succeed one day, but we are still here. And I'm proud of us. So, yeah.
The MLB commissioner, Rob Manfred, said all of us who love baseball have long known, I don't know about this, have long known that the Negro Leagues produced many of our game's best players, innovations, and triumphed against the backdrop of injustice. We are now grateful to count the players of the Negro Leagues where they belong as major leaguers within the official historical record. So that was pretty cool. And then the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum president, Bob Kendrick, issued a statement saying, "For historical merit, today is extraordinarily important. Having been around so many Negro League players, they have never looked to the MLB to validate them. But for fans and for historical sake, this is significant." So shout out to baseball fans worldwide, baseball players, people who are inspired and just love the sport. It is a major win to make sure these hoes know that when you mention great, you must mention the blacks.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. All right. And sounds about white. Now, what has now been renamed, say what name?
Well, I feel like that can go. We can almost keep the title depending on what our topic is that week. Because this week it certainly sounds about white. Okay. Or maybe it sounds about racist. Because Jim Jordan, who is a representative for for Ohio, tweeted, "You know what the best stimulus is?
Okay.
A job."
Bro, why was I able to guess?
Amongst many other problematic things that Jim tweets and says often, because he is a whole moron, if you ever want to take a gander at his Twitter, because I actually went, because I like to see, like, when people say really wild shit, I'd be like, well, what did they talk about on a regular basis? Was this like a one-off? And no, it is not. He also thinks that Donald Trump has been treated more unfairly than any other president, and that no matter what great things he does, us radicals will be angry with him. But anyway, I just wanted to take a little chit chat with Mr. Jim Jordan.
Wait. I'm sorry. Wait, can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
You remember when Donald Trump said that I could walk into the middle of Times Square and shoot somebody in the head and they would still vote for me? Mm-hmm. Yo, do you remember when he said he could literally molest women and assault them, and that because he has money, he'll be okay? Yeah, and I was looking at pictures that, like, they're supposed to be the best pictures that were taken all year, and they just kind of cover the wide scope of things that have happened this year. And one of them was from a protest. In the background, I think Donald Trump was letting off fireworks. I don't know if they were like campaign fireworks or what, but they were fireworks coming from, the White House, and there were people standing in front of him, and their signs read, Donald Trump failed, and it was like 180,000 dead, and they were talking about, the pandemic. And I was just thinking, when you said that just now, about how he's been treated so unfairly, no matter what he does, y'all gonna, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, when he said he could go in the middle of Times Square and literally shoot somebody in the head, and y'all would still fuck with him, basically, or vote for him, or whatever, he was like, facts. Facts. Yeah. I'm sorry. That was all I wanted to say.
Yeah, there are no lies. But anyway, that only adds to the fact that Jim Jordan is a fucking idiot. But in case Jim Jordan thinks that, okay, you know what a good stimulus is? A job. Well, girl, unemployment. So I don't know if you know what that word means, but basically it means unemployed. And these rates have skyrocketed because, I don't know if you're aware, but global pandemic. So with that being said, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, so the CPPP.org, has reported that 1 in 6 adults with children, their household has lacked sufficient food in the last 7 days. Sufficient food. Not sufficient Jordans, not sufficient MacBooks, not sufficient brand new cars. Sufficient food. In the United States of America, people are going without sufficient food on a weekly basis. What kind of fucking moron doesn't think that after people spend 30 plus years of their lives working with at least a minimum of 20% of their income being taken every year for taxes, doesn't think that maybe you should, I don't know, kick back a few bucks during a global fucking pandemic, you stupid, stupid bitch. Are you crazy? This is what happens when we have rich, white, heterosexual men making all the fucking choices for our country. It is stupid. I'm tired. I want out. I want off of this planet. People cannot even fucking eat. And you talking about, well, maybe you should get a job. Well, bitch, as it would so happen, I had a job, global pandemic, and I got either furloughed or altogether fired because my job couldn't afford to keep me, because you morons think that you guys should still be having rent be collected and taxes being due and everything else, instead of being like, hey, people can't even eat. People can't even leave their homes because they're so terrified. Maybe we should like kick them a buck or two. But you sons of bitches think that here's the thing. People are like, oh, but Donnie wants to give us $2,000. Even if he did, $3,200 for a year income? You think that that's going to save anybody's fucking life? That's barely rent in a lot of places. It is barely my rent where I live. Barely. Not to mention food, not to mention health insurance, car note, phone bill, internet, whatever. Like before even getting to luxuries, like basic necessities of American life. I couldn't even, $3,200 is the best that y'all could do. And y'all arguing over either $600 or $2,000. Well, Donnie wants to give us $2,000. Even if he did, bitch. Even if he did. Still, poverty. What kind of year salary is $3,200? Except for a spit in the face. Again, 1 in 6 adult families has insufficient food with families. So with children. Are y'all crazy? Jim, I just want you to take your penis and stick it in an electric socket. That's what I would like for you to do, because you're a fucking moron. And I don't want to hear you talk. I don't want to see you tweet ever again in your natural born life.
Yeah, it's quite sad indeed, the state of things. As I mentioned earlier, that's what Ayanna Presley was saying, like, just in general, of course, when Donald Trump came out and said he thinks it could be 2,000, I was watching the news earlier and they were like, yeah. And Nancy Pelosi, she was like, all right, cool, bet. You know what I mean? Like, let's do it. And then, like you said earlier, it went nowhere. And I was just like, I don't understand. Because, again, and I didn't study economics, right? And I think we've had this conversation, of course, before together. But I think we've talked about it on the podcast, too. Like, I didn't study economics, but in my head, if people have money, then they'll spend money, right? If they have more money, they'll spend more money. Like, I remember when there was data coming out about how like the economy was about around the same, if not maybe like 1% higher than it was this time last June in June. And I was thinking to myself, but yeah, that's because y'all have been giving people extra money on top of their unemployment. But if y'all cut that, because that's what they were talking about at the time, I was like, but if y'all cut that, then it's gonna go down. Like, I don't understand how, like, again, I'm like, maybe it's because I haven't studied economics that's why this shit don't make no sense to me. But in my head, I'm like, are y'all insane? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, it just, you got money, you spend it. If you don't, you don't spend it. So I'm like, if y'all cut the unemployment benefits, then people are going to stop spending money and the economy will go down. But if y'all were to give people money, and we're supposed to be the richest nation in the world, I don't understand how the richest nation in the world can't afford to give its citizens during a pandemic, right? Not we just all want to sit at home, because that clearly is what they think. We just want to sit at home and collect a check to do what with, because we're sitting at home, I don't know. But nonetheless.
And niggas think that they're like, we're literally partying sitting home. Now, I'm not saying nobody is. But, I mean, have we looked at the mental health records and the domestic violence and everything else that has gone up because people are locked at home? People don't want to be locked at home. People would like to work. People would like to contribute to society in a fair way. People don't want to be sitting at home waiting for a government check. I don't know anybody who would rather be sitting at home. I am bored out of my fucking mind. My boyfriend is out of work for like 1 week just due to the holiday. Bored out of his fucking mind. We don't want to be at home. We would like to be working members of society. So, like, the fact that you think people just want to sit around while there's a global pandemic going on and we just want to have money. Well, maybe, girl, because we don't want to go outside. I mean, I know you bitches saw Bird Box and kept saying, well, why do they keep taking their masks off then? So I ask you stupid bitches, why do y'all keep taking y'all masks off? I'm tired. This nigga literally tweeted, Republicans want Americans to go back to work. Democrats want you to go back to quarantine. Well, bitch, I think we would all like to go back to work, and I don't think any of us want to be in quarantine, but some would like to live. Like, Republicans may want to go back to work and to kill others or die themselves. But some of us, girl, would like to live. So we would like for y'all whores to shut this shit down, because had you done it in the first place, had Donald Trump signed an executive order to shut this whore down, this whore of America down for 6 weeks, we could have avoided this. We could have got some answers. We could have done some research. You could have set us at home. You could have made sure our bills were good while we couldn't work. And then brought it back in. But instead, what did you guys do? You have let it go on for almost a year at this point. So now, yes, now we will be in massive debt. Yes, now lots and lots of businesses have and will continue to shut down exponentially because they don't have any money and they can't afford to stay afloat. They're bringing, like, many restaurants are bringing back like 2 servers. You know what I mean? Like, people cannot afford to be without work. Our economy cannot afford to be shut down. But furthermore, at this point, you guys have spent a year arguing back and forth, and when you could have just done the right thing the first time and paid people to sit at home, because then we could have done that. But instead, you've let it go on for a year. So yes, now there are lots and lots of unemployed people. There are lots and lots of sick people. This is why we have to understand that whether or not you believe it's a hoax or whatever the fuck, more people are dying every day now than died in 9/11. But people are so, never forget 9/11. Of course they are, because that had to do with quote unquote people of color of a religious background terrorizing America instead of what actual domestic terrorists are actually doing in America, because they're allowing this virus to go on.
Yeah.
When you guys, I'm not going to say anybody has the right answers to be like, oh, well, this is exactly how we get rid of it. I'm not saying that. But the fact that America has put forth zero effort, streaming down from our weak ass president, and this nigga literally supposedly got COVID and then turned around and say, nobody should be afraid of COVID, when other people are burying their parents and can't even go to the funerals because of COVID. Like, what are you talking about, you stupid girl? I hate it. I hate it here. I hate it here. No, this was supposed to be a light episode. I'm sorry, guys. It was supposed to be a light episode. I don't know what happened.
And that's okay. So in what's the word I'm looking for?
Sounds about
on that note, we'll just move forward. Well, take a deep breath.
I don't know. Deactivate his Twitter. I don't want to see anything else ever again. Anyways. Sexpectations.
Hey, now we talking.
Now we talking. Now we moving on up to the positive side.
Okay, Queen, did you have a sexpectation question?
I do, but I feel like yours is vulgar, so I want you to go ahead.
Okay, mine is simple. Would you let somebody borrow your sex toys?
Would I strain my spaghetti over a toilet seat? I actually just listened to that episode of ours the other day. I was like, oh, I remember this episode. But the answer is a resounding no.
Y'all, listen, I'm reading this book. It's called The Good Vibrations Guide to Sex, which is, like I told y'all, where I'll probably be getting my Sexpectations questions from. And I was in I don't know what section of the book I was in, because I'm not in the vibrator section yet, but I guess I'm in probably the masturbation or the self-pleasure section, I don't know. And it mentioned, it was like, yeah, if you want to try the things, just ask a friend to borrow their sex toys. And I was like,
incorrect.
Wait. Listen, y'all. Listen, now let me make this clear, because sometimes I want to make sure people know my actual opinion on things versus me playing devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. I also would not let somebody borrow my sex toys. But listen to my ideology on this, right? Because when I first heard it, I was like, ugh, who would do that? But then I thought about it, and I was like, wait, actually, is there any difference between letting somebody borrow your sex toys and having sex with somebody who's had sex with somebody else before?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And let me tell you why.
Borrowing a sex toy and borrowing another nigga's penis is a little different.
I don't think so, because you can watch both of them. Right? Because if you were to give me your sex toy, hypothetically speaking, this hasn't happened, guys. I just want to make sure.
Sid, I'm not sharing my rabbit with you.
If you were to give me your sex toy, I would go watch it. I wouldn't. Could you imagine this? What if somebody could you imagine if somebody just straight up went and used it? Oh God, that's so disgusting. Anyway. So if you gave me your sex toys, I would clean them. I wouldn't just stick them in my vagina or wherever else.
I would hope people are cleaning their things as soon as they're done using them.
Right. But I'm saying I would still clean it anyway, though, right? Like, I think, that's the first place my head goes. But also, I guess if we're talking about people who strain their spaghetti in the toilet seat, that's not the first place some people's heads would go. But that's where my head would go first, right? But so it's the same thing.
I mean, I feel you, because your sex toy, I would assume, cannot give you an STD if, it's been washed and cleaned. And your penis still can. I can understand
I wouldn't even think about that.
I can understand that, and I can respect it. It is still a no for me.
It's so weird, right? But it's actually.
But I think it's because you know what it is. I think because in my mind, when you have a new sexual partner, say, and they bring out sex toys, I would be like, well, for one, I didn't see you get that out the peg. So them anal beads could have been in somebody else's anus. I don't want that. I don't want salmonella in my asshole or E. coli. So don't want that. They're going to need to be brand spanking new out the pack, and I need to watch you wash them type shit. So I guess for me personally, that's just one of those things you don't share. It's like a razor. You can wash a razor, but I'm still not going to share razors with somebody.
No, it makes sense.
You can wash a toothbrush, which goes in your mouth, and let somebody else borrow it, but I would never do that.
Yeah, but that's not, I don't think that's the same thing, though.
But I was going to say, it's interesting because you can also wash forks, right? And everybody still eats out the same forks. If you have people come over, they eat off your forks and don't even think about how well you clean them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I guess that is interesting, but I think it's more like a stigma than maybe actually filthy. It's like filthy and disgusting in my brain, but maybe not.
Yeah, really. It is. Because again, to me, it's literally the same thing as having sex with, if you have sex with anyone that's not a virgin, it's the same thing. Just like you assume that man or woman, depending on what you're into, washed and or self-cleaned their vagina between the last time it was used by somebody else. It's the same thing with a sex toy. And like you just said, it's even better sex toy wise because the sex toy can't get you STD. But I'm not saying I would do it because again, I have that same hang up too. Like I was like, ugh, why would you? But then I was like I said, I was sitting there reading and I was like, well, wait, actually, it's really not that, it's technically not as nasty as I think I initially thought it was. So, yeah, it's just an interesting thing to think about, right? The things that gross you out that really are probably better than, because mind you, right, like a vagina that doesn't have STD in it, right? Like I wonder if it's the same thing with like a dog's mouth, where they say a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's. I wonder if a vagina is cleaner than a mouth.
Probably.
Because
I don't know.
Again, because going back to what you just said about the forks, right? Somebody will come over here and use our forks, but you wouldn't. If they handed you a used sex toy, you'd be disgusted, right? You know what I'm saying?
That is correct. You know, that's interesting. I have to give it to you, Sid. I think that's just a nasty thing in my brain, but maybe not actually nasty.
Yeah. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just out here playing devil's advocate. I ain't sharing mine either. I'm just saying. Anyway, what was your sexpectation question?
My Sexpectations is more of a relationship question, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with a significant other, because when I first read this, I was like, I mean, none of that shit was my fault, so But I started thinking of it on a friendship level, and so I thought it'd be a good question to ask. And so my Sexpectations question this week is, without blaming your ex, and by ex you can be friend, ex-friend, ex-boyfriend, whatever, what should you have done differently in your last relationship?
Oh man, now this is a great question. So in my last friendship that ended, and you know who I'm talking about.
I do.
I definitely wish I were more like, you know, a throat chakra kind of a person. And just being able to express my grievances as opposing to just, because at the end of the day, I feel like if you don't tell people what it is you need from them or want from them, you are basically inadvertently making it as if they can read your mind, right? And so I think I just wish no matter what the reasoning was for why I didn't, and I had my reasons for why I didn't go ahead and go have a conversation about whatever those things were, I wish I still had, because even at least then you can walk away knowing you did everything you could. You know what I'm saying? Because you know I graduated from the Tyler Perry School of Relationships, the Medea School of Relationships, which says that you know, if you tell someone that something is hurting you and they try to fix it, you should keep those people in your life. They either fix it or try to fix it, but you know, people who don't, then you know, let them people go. But yeah, if you don't give people the opportunity to try to fix those things, then you know, there's that. So yeah, I just wish I had been more vocal about what was bothering me and hurting me, and also just not allowing it to make me act out of character. Because you know how the LA trip went.
I am weak.
It was not well on my part. Like I look back at it and be like, ooh, child, I don't never want to have attitude that bad again in my life.
I feel like that's almost everybody's like retrospect. Like I feel like almost everybody could say, even vocal people, even very I don't want to say articulate, but even people who can communicate their feelings very well. I think almost everybody would and could probably say that they wish they would have vocalized their feelings better or more or at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think on it, and I think that I could have done a better job communicating, because I know my personality trait is to be like, oh, well, you're dead. Like, you're dead to me. Like, you don't exist anymore. You don't exist in my life. That's very much so who I am, because I think I hold more value on saying the mean things. Or I don't know if I'm wording this right. I think it's worse to say the mean things, even if you do mean them in that moment. I think it's worse to say the mean things than it is to not say anything at all. So to me, how I protect other people from my wrath is by not speaking at all. And I think that I don't necessarily want to change that about myself, but I think I can improve it. Like, I think I can I think I can start speaking up a little bit more before I get to the point where like, well, I tried and you're dead. Because I think a lot of times maybe I don't try and I just kill you in my brain instead. So I would say in my last friendship that I ended, what I could have done better was to say how I felt and say this will be like the repercussion if these friendship needs aren't met. Because I don't think it's your job as a friend to only be a good friend to other people. I think it's your job as a friend to expect your kind of friendship back from people. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with expecting things out of your friends instead of only being a good friend. But I think that I could definitely be like, hey, if this isn't met, this is how I feel, and this is how I'm going to have to respond to protect myself, which I don't really do that. I just be like, bitch, you should have known better. Bye. Like, that's how I always respond. So
yeah, and it's funny that, right, because at the end of the day, because of experiences, because of it's all experiences, of course, but like how people are raised, their previous relationships, people do not know those things that you think are common sense, right? And so, yeah, again, it's going back to this idea that's like, you're supposed to read my mind. Like, I ain't supposed to have to tell you this. But
I feel like that's what I always hear. I always hear people say, well, you should have known, or they should have known, or they knew, or they did know, or whatever. And it's like, dang, we always say what people knew, but we don't actually know what people know.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and honestly,
we only know what we want them to know, or we expect them to know. We don't actually know what they know.
If they knew all the things we thought they did, then we'd still all be friends. You know what I'm saying? So clearly that can't be true. But yeah, that's what first comes to mind with my last friendship. My last relationship in general, I just shouldn't have been in that relationship. But not blaming my ex. I blame myself for how long it lasted. Like, I was just like, there is really nothing here for me besides physical attraction. I don't know why I am contained. But it wasn't, the thing about it was that, I changed, right? Like, I've been having conversations with different people, and they'll, we have those conversations about like, oh, what was your last relationship? What did it teach you? This kind of things. And I think to myself, well, it's been like my last relationship was a long time ago, and I had different desires then from a partner, right? I was younger, so I think I just had, like, I didn't read, my world hadn't been opened up the way it has been now because of all of the experiences that I've had, because of the movies I've seen, or the documentaries, or the books and stuff. So I have different desires, but even then at that time, physical attraction still wasn't enough for me to be in a relationship, and I don't think it is. I mean, but that's projecting, so I'm not gonna say that. So say that to say I should not have been in that relationship as long as I was. So yeah. What about you? What would you say for your last? Was you last relationship? Your last ex? Your last ex?
Oh, like
that's a long time ago for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's way too long ago. I couldn't tell you honestly.
It just hit me how long ago.
What's something I could have done better? I would say probably the same thing you said, because I was so young and I was talking literally to myself the other day, like telling myself, it's not because you were naive, because you weren't like a dumb, like a ditzy girl. You just, and I was like, no, maybe I was naive, because I genuinely thought the best. I genuinely not felt like I was too good for something to happen, to be cheated on, to be disrespected, whatever. Like, it's not because I thought I was too good. I just thought we were literally best friends and that couldn't have happened. So I was way too lenient, but then it turns you into a person who says, well, everybody's going to act that way, so go ahead and put your guard up and don't tolerate even the slightest amount of things, and then everybody else has to pay for the slight things. Because I was also thinking the other day how nobody is perfect. It don't matter how long somebody knows you, or how close or good of friends y'all think y'all are, or significant others, whatever. Nobody's perfect, and every single person on this planet is going to hurt you. And that doesn't mean like in a super detrimental, you don't want to have anything to do with them anyway, but you just kind of have to understand that people are humans and they're going to hurt you. Whether they mean to do it maliciously or accidentally, they're going to hurt you. And you kind of have to figure out of life who's worth hurting over. And I think when you're young, you decide anybody you care about is worth hurting for, when that's just not the case. Like, it's just, if everybody's going to hurt me, I'd rather quote unquote cry in my Rolls Royce. And I mean that not even in a material sense. I would rather be crying over somebody who I know is going to get it right or improve or evolve than be crying over the person who's going to continue to do the same things to disrespect and hurt me when they know that it does.
The other thing I was thinking about too is that, and I think we've had this conversation before, is that I typically don't do or say things that wouldn't hurt me. And so I think that the important part of relationships is getting to know each other so that you don't do things that will hurt the other person, right? Like, no matter who the person is, like anything I've ever said, it was like never intentional to have hurt you. But like as Kalia says, intention does not negate impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just have realized that it's like I'll do and say certain things and I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Oh, that bothers you? My bad. Which goes back to the whole you have to communicate. Because again, I would never say or do anything that would hurt me because why would, you know what I'm saying? Because I know me, but I have to get to know you on the other hand. So going back to what you're saying about people doing harm, yeah, I think it is just a part of life. And like you just said, because I remember reading that quote a long time ago too, like you have to find out who's worth being hurt over because again, I think it's just a natural thing. Like you said, we're humans, and sometimes it absolutely is intentional. But I honestly would like to believe that it's more times than not unintentional.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's definitely a word said that I know me, but I need to know you because I think the same thing. I think it is very rare. And I mean, people that actually know me, I guess, have a relationship with me could chime in on how they feel about it. But it's very rare that I say something to intentionally hurt someone because I'm not, that's just not really how I communicate. Like if anything, I stop talking to you to hurt you I think even when I do that, it's still not to hurt you. It's still to be like, I'm saving you from me hurting you because if I do let my wrath go, I'm going to hurt you and it will be intentional. Because I'm angry. So even when I like recluse, it's not to hurt you. It's literally to be like, I'm going to hurt them. So let me go ahead and go into a shell because once I snap, I don't have no control over that part. Like I can only control what I do before I get to that point. But yeah, wow. I didn't think this was going to get but like that deep. But yeah. I would encourage our listeners definitely to take that reflection on yourself. Like, without blaming your ex, boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, homie, whatever, parental figure, relative, without blaming that other person in your failed relationship or communication, what could you have done better? Take a look on the inside, y'all. Let us know, like, if you get anything out of that or if you feel like, you know, that question is going to cause you to grow in some way or reflect. But yeah.
Absolutely, because I think we all have some part to play, small or large, in the ending of whatever the last relationship was, whatever type of relationship it was. So I think when you can be, we just talked about it yesterday, when you can be self-condemning, when you can be empathetic, when you can be, it's almost like an outer body experience. You have to leave oneself in order to see oneself through an unclouded mirror, as it would say in the 4 agreements. But yeah, so yeah, I think that is super dope. That's the homework for y'all.
Homework.
See y'all
we gotta have a section where we just say homework.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you know people do their homework in the living room. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on to black on black support. I'm gonna go first because I have a few.
Of course. You know how I gets down with the brand. Let us support a black-owned business, okay?
Or a person.
Or a black person.
So, I'm going to kick it off with sneaker shopping with Complex. If you're not familiar, I want to say that's just a YouTube show. I don't think it's anywhere else. But anyway, it's like a web series where celebrities go sneaker shopping while they're getting an interview. And at the end, they blow like $3,000 on sneakers or more or less, whatever.
I think I heard about this. I think I'm getting happy.
Oh, I think you are, friend, because it's your bae. Your bae, Jaden Smith, went on sneaker shopping with Complex and purchased 300 sneakers to donate on Skid Row. So Jaden Smith, the good king, the good black king that he is, did a partnership with the Refresh Spot, which is an organization dedicated to offering help to the homeless community in Skid Row. And he, again, donated 300 pairs of sneakers to their cause, which I think is amazing because, again, people get on there and maybe buy like 10 sneakers and spend $3,000, you know, to take home and wear. They all buy them in their size, whatever. And Jaden was like, actually, girls, I want the people on the streets, it's, you know, to have shoes on their feet because that is, you know, one of our large organs that a lot of them are walking around barefoot on the fecal and urine covered sidewalks of LA, you know, to keep them healthy and safe. I want to donate sneakers to them. And I thought that was so beautiful because if y'all don't know, Jaden is just the shit in general. He just donated another water box. I want to say it was in New Jersey. Somewhere like New Jersey, but they also had like a really bad water supply. So the king is just out here donating the water trucks to clean the waters for the community, donating sneakers. He does a lot. But that was just the story this week that I wanted to talk about. So shout out to Jaden Smith for being a good black king.
Yeah, being the shit. I love y'all. I mean, I love him for multiple reasons. Of course, he's handsome to me. I understand to most he probably looks like a child, but I like a child, so we can just be two beautiful kids together. Um, but he's dope style is another reason why I love him. But in general, I love a good person that's just out here doing great things and thinking of other people all the time, right? Like how you said, most people go on there, and no, it's not even to be shady, but most people just go on there and they get stuff for themselves or for people close to them or whatever, right? But they literally took the time. And that just goes to show you where his heart is, right? Like I'm just gonna give these for the people on Skid Row. And I know David Sebastian is this rapper that I'm a big fan of. He does a lot of work with Skid Row, helping to reintegrate people back into society, like taking them from being homeless to having a job and employing them and trying to get them help and get them out of Skid Row and donating to them and stuff like that. And so I know people are out here doing that work, but it's just cool always, I think, to see people who are famous and who are rich and who have money and who have that many eyes on them to do something like that. I think that's super dope. So yes, I love a good Jaden Smith who just keeps continuing to do things, right? So you already mentioned the water machine, and he's got the free vegan food truck for homeless folks. You know what I'm saying? And then now the sneakers. He's just lit.
The king be kinging.
He continues to have my heart.
You want to go ahead, Queen?
Yes. So I have two. I will go with the first one. I would like to shout out Volandis. That is VUHLANDES on Instagram. He is this super dope photographer who Josh Bicos told me about. And I was watching one of his YouTube videos, and he referred to himself as like a hood documentarian. So like he takes pictures of very hood ass shit. People with guns, people with their grills, people in the hood.
You'll love to see it.
Dilapidated, boarded up project buildings and whatnot, and homes, and I just think it's so dope because I just doing the some of the promotional work for the merchandise I'm putting out in January. We shot in come
on, Merchant Jan.
Trying, you know what I'm saying? We shot in a housing project that's about to be torn down here in Charlotte, and it was inspired by Moonlight, right? That was one of the reasons why I chose that to be one of our sets, because we have a tendency, and I was just having this conversation with Kalia the other night, we have a tendency to try to separate ourselves from different types of blackness. And much like gender, right? I think that blackness gets to be performed in a lot of different ways. Everybody don't want to be Michelle Obama, okay? Some of us want to be Suki. Some of us want to be whoever lives in the hood. Some friend, I can't think of somebody who gives me hood aesthetic in the mainstream, but some of it, that's our people. And I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. You know what I'm saying? I think that they are beautiful people, just like the ones that go to Harvard or wear business suits or, whatever. So I think it's super dope to see his work, because it is very, like, he said he didn't see representation of him and his friends and his family on TV or anywhere, right? And so he wanted to create that representation. And again, just another example of Black people creating something where there isn't anything yet, and I think it's amazing. So I love his work. So y'all, there's a couple different ways. Of course, you can follow him on Instagram. Like I said, that's VUHLANDES. He also has Volandis Speaks, or I'm sorry, it's Vuz Speaks. It's a VUHSPEAKS. That's a podcast. And then he has Volandis also. So the same spelling. You can follow him on YouTube. So where he talks about photography and different film stuff. He makes, like I said, he makes documentaries and talks about gear and stuff. He is super dope. I definitely recommend y'all check him out. I just love his work, so I just wanted to shout him out because he's a dope Black ass photographer. And so yeah, that's my first Black on Black support.
Okay, I wanted to send some love to royallyfitllc.com. My good sister, a queen, she has holistic wellness, life coaching, etc. on her website, but she sent me some goodies to try out. I have Love on Top Cleansing Cream, and it has a shea butter, jojoba oil, grapeseed oil, aloe vera gel, rose oil. I also have some lip oil called Love on Top Herbal Healing Lip Oil, and it has coconut oil, sweet almond oil, vitamin E oil, pure essentials, and dried rose petals, which means I have rose petals in my lip oil. It's so cute. And some other goodies. I also have like a tea that she made for me that I just have to put in my little tea bag and make it myself. And it's a turmeric and ginger, which if you don't know the healing properties of turmeric and ginger, please do your Googles, girls, because It is really good for you, especially during this flu season, during this COVID season, cold and flu season. Definitely check out turmeric and ginger and how has healing properties. But on royallyfitllc.com, you can get some for yourself and try it. All organic ingredients. And that is like my favorite thing because I need the all natural things to put in and on my body. Y'all know I take that shit very seriously. So please go check out royallyfitllc.com by my good sister, a queen. Love her so much. Very excited to try out her products. So I'll have some posts coming soon, trying it out and telling y'all how it goes.
All right. Yes. And my last one, and I think it just hit me that you might have shouted them out already, but I'm about to do it again if you did.
Okay.
Beyond the Talk podcast. Did you shout them out last week?
I didn't.
No. Okay. I don't know why. Maybe I dreamed it. So yeah, shout out to Beyond the Talk podcast, y'all. Apple Podcasts. I unfortunately did not do all my due diligence. I think it might be available on Spotify also, but I know for a fact it is available on Apple Podcasts. It is hosted by Klysha and damn, why did I lose her name like that? Nicole. There we go. Woo. Sorry, brain fart. Yeah. So I would just like to number one, welcome Nicole back to podcasting because she was on a dope podcast called The Ugly Truth back when we were in college. I used to listen to it when I was out here driving a good safe ride. But I mean, van, you know what I'm saying? And then I would like to welcome Klysha to the podcasting community.
Klysha she's a cold queen. I tell you what,
okay,
she's a cold girl. So I can't wait to hear what they have to offer. I know they've already posted some things, but I know she wasn't
the first
on Apple,
episode.
So I'm gonna have to go searching for how to get it.
Yeah. They got like a little promo. It's 28 minutes. I listened to it the other night. It is very good. They talk about like what their podcast is about and what they'll be talking about. And like, so just to give y'all a little bit of information, but definitely go check out the podcast. Like I said, definitely on Apple. And I think the other place is Spotify right now.
Well, see, I couldn't find it on Apple. Am I
You just type in Beyond the Talk?
Yeah.
It comes up real easy for me.
Maybe it wasn't on whenever I first looked. Maybe.
Try now. But
okay, go ahead.
They said they were going to be talking about like just a solution oriented podcast, right? Like we talk about.
Yep. Found it now. I am subscribed. Let me go ahead and throw a rating on there, and I'm gonna check it out soon. I see their
I did a rating. I mean, I did a review because I know. Also, while you're here, review our podcast. Thank you very much. But I did a review. I was there because I know how hard the reviews be to get. You know what I'm saying? We've been here. You know what I'm saying? So we know what's up. So I had to throw a review their way. But yes, like I was saying, it is like we talk about our problems, right? Like. A lot, you know what I'm saying? But they were just talking about how, it can be very draining to be focused on the problems, and they just want to come up with solutions. So they'll have different guests on there with different expertise and whatnot. So I'm super excited to see who they have on the show, what they discuss, what they come up with idea-wise, because I love to hear different people's ideas about how to alleviate some of these issues, right? Or else our kids gonna be having this conversation. So I'm always here for a solution-based ting, especially a solution-based podcast by two great Black queens. Like I said, it is Beyond the Talk podcast. You can follow them on Instagram at Beyond the Talk Pod, and you can follow Klysha for Justice. Again, I did not do my due diligence and get out Nicole's Instagram, but if you go to Beyond the Talk Pod, you will be linked to her Instagram page as well. Like I said, I already know she's gonna be the shit because I heard her before, and I know Klysha's gonna be the shit because she's just the shit in general. So yes, y'all.
We already know.
But please go check out these other two Black queens because we love to do over here, support our Black friends and their endeavors. So you can listen to us and you can listen to them and you can listen to even more Black ass podcasts. So yes, turn up, y'all.
A good Black ass time. Black ass time for sure. Well, I'm going to shorten this up, so I am just going to reiterate, party people, that the Shop Black Challenge is a year-round, 365, 24/7 challenge that we have for our people, but we especially wanted to highlight it during hashtag Black Holiday. As we know today, we told y'all, today is Christmas for us, but we have Kwanzaa coming up, we have New Year's. Hell, after that, we got all kinds of holidays coming up throughout the year. Malcolm X Day, hello. We have Black History Month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We could go on forever. But with that being said, anytime you think of your gift giving, please think of shopping Black first. If y'all need to know where to find something, hell, DM me. And if I don't know, I will ask around. But chances are I know at least one person that's selling something that you want, whether it's pillows, clothes, handmade jewelry, or fine or fast. What's it called? Fashion jewelry. whatever. You know, the cheap stuff, the expensive stuff, you know, the fine and the fashion stuff. I know lots and lots. Candles, hello. So if y'all are shopping, bookstores, Black-owned bookstores, if y'all are shopping and y'all need to know where something is and how to get to it, please, if you don't know, DM me and I will help you to the best of my ability get you that link, because, you know, we find that very important. So Shop Black Challenge is year round, but we have been doing the hashtag Black Holidays. So let us know. Post the things that you got that were Black owned. I'm really excited to see what y'all got for the holidays from your friends and family, or what y'all gave to your loved ones that you shopped Black to find. So let us know. We want to see.
Absolutely. And like you said, 365, y'all get to you. Hey, and you know, you can do the free things like repost on Instagram.
Hello.
Tell your friends
Free
about
99.
it. You can listen
Free
to a
99.
podcast. You can share. You can watch a YouTube video. There's all kinds of ways. Even so, if you ain't got no money because it is a pandemic out here.
A global pandemic, despite what Jim Jordan has to say with his stupid ass.
Yeah, so if you ain't got the funds, there are lots of ways to support your people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Are we ready
and
real
quick. Book of the month. I actually just wanted to highlight this planner that my auntie sent to me. It has a beautiful Black woman on the front that says, "I am authentic," a 2021 weekly inspirational planner. Y'all, this planner is the shit. It's got places for you to put people's birthdays, people's phone numbers and addresses. I know people don't usually do that anymore, but it has your monthly goals, how much you want to save this month, your affirmation for the month, how you want to meditate, your gratitude list, hello, your self-care dedication days. This planner is the fucking shit. I'm so excited to have it. I wouldn't have thought to buy my own planner because I just make little notes in my phone, but honestly, truly, I love to write things down, so this is so exciting for me. It has a lot of really beautiful Black art in it by Sylvia G. Baby Phillips. And you can find this Instagram at Shades of Color Gifts. That's at Shades of Color Gifts. Look those up, y'all. There's some really dope planners on there. Again, my auntie sent me one for Kwanzaa, and I'm really, really excited. I can't wait to get to filling it out. I love it already, so I'm going to give y'all updates on how my planning is going. But yeah, that's my quote-unquote book of the month, if you will.
All right. Yes, ma'am. So we got ready to move on to mental health check-in.
Mental health, Queen. What you got for our brains this week?
Oh, I am simply going to say that's one of my favorite things to do for my mental health is to take a social media break. Hello. Which it's a little hard to do now, of course, between the podcast and just, always having something to promote and things like that, which I'm thankful for, right, to be creating so much in so many different kinds of content that I do have something to be on Instagram for, but I am planning on spending as little time on social media as possible. I actually found out last night, or not last night, but a couple nights ago, that you can kind of hide the app from yourself. I don't know, you hold down the app if you got an iPhone, like you would if you were going to delete it, and then it'll pop up and say, remove from home screen. So I actually can't see Twitter, which I never be on anyway, or Instagram when I'm just swiping through my apps on my regular home screen. So if you need a little help staying off social media, because it is easy to just be on there and not even realize that you're on there, that is an option. So yeah, just taking a break because, just me and I just talked about this yesterday, being in the pandemic and, not even necessarily even going looking for things nowadays, but because of popular pages and because of watching people's stories and the things they're sharing, sometimes things that you don't even necessarily want to see are, put in your face. Like, the rich and famous amongst us still living their best lives while those of us are stuck in the house and without our families and things. It can be a little toll taking on the mental. And like I said, I'm not one of those tweeters or Instagrammers that like to go read the folks for filth. So I just rather not see it at all. But I am happy that the people are happy and living their best lives. I'm just saying I ain't trying to see people having parties when I'm afraid of the impending blindness that might come with COVID now. So just taking a social media break because it's just nice to be present and still, and not always be consuming in general, right? Like taking in things all the time, but just having those moments of stillness and peace and mental quietness, if that makes sense. So yeah, that is what I am doing for my mental health right now. I don't know how long it's going to last.
I was gonna say Sydney is a pro, y'all. So if y'all trying to get on a long-term cleanse, hop on with Sydney. If you want a short-term one, I'll probably just be doing like a 3-day don't look at the things. And I told somebody yesterday, the day before, that basically I was trying to stay off social media for the holidays in general. Just because you kind of forget to be grateful. Like, it's not about how much you get for a holiday or how big your Christmas tree is, right? Or who just bought their mama a new car. It's not really about how much you get, but it's still, no matter what it is, somebody could buy you a Birkin and you gonna see something on social media that makes you say, damn, my Birkin ain't all that. It's not the crocodile one though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not, I feel like in general, it's like human nature to be grateful, but then because of social media, we kind of forget that, or we think, well, yeah, I got this, but what about more? But what about more? What about more? Like, when we really, the holiday itself is meant to just sit and be a time of reflection of the year, which, hello, has been a doozy, and it's nothing a person's gonna fix. Hello. But with that being said, a social media cleanse just for your own good. It don't have to be some huge profound thing. It could literally just be I know, like, I try to like let people know ahead of time that holidays are not good for everybody. They're not a happy time for everybody. A lot of people, and I would say especially young people, are forced to be around their predators during holidays. So with that being said, just looking at all angles, it's really hard to enjoy holidays for a lot of people. So if you need to take that social media break, I encourage you to do that. A lot of us are, especially this year, are dealing with loss. We're dealing with loss of work, loss of job, loss of loved ones. Holidays aren't always that fun. So if you need to take that cleanse, absolutely. I 100% agree with Sid the Great. And then my other mental health tip for you guys, it's just gratitude, just being grateful, and really sitting in that space of gratitude, because everything that comes with worry, with anxiety, depression, all those things lower your immune systems, and y'all, it's already a global virus out here. So I just want y'all to be safe and to be healthy. So take care of yourselves, take care of one another, love on somebody today, celebrate somebody today, and take all the time and space that you need if you need that for the holidays. So yeah, I love you guys.
Absolutely. And affirmations, as y'all know, we like to take y'all out of here with a nice positive thing. It is this is the last podcast for the year. And so with that being said, I would like to wish y'all a happy new year. And my affirmation, just one that I'm saying to myself that I wish I said every day, but I don't. But I definitely would like to make that habit, is I just want to be better today than I was yesterday. And so say that to say my not resolution, but my affirmation as far as coming in the new year, is that I just want to be better in whatever ways, right, next year than I was this year. And also, like, I've heard people say that they don't like to do resolutions because, you know, they never stick with it. But also just putting out there that it's okay to fall off the horse, all right? Just get back on, you know what I'm saying? And be graceful with yourself, because we are all works in progress. So yeah, that is my affirmation, Queen.
Okay, and my affirmation was, roommates, if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you deserve to be here. You are worthy of the life in front of you, and anything that happened in the past is the past. Let's let it go. Let's move forward. Let's be beautiful people to one another moving forward. Thank y'all so much for being our roommates. We hope that y'all sign another lease with us next year. You feel me? Okay. 2020 has been a wild ride, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like the roller coaster is not letting up in 2021. So if y'all come back, kick it with us in the living room, get your weekly dose of some fun, comedic relief, some up-to-date pop culture situations. You know what I'm saying? We're here for a good time, not a long time. So with that being said, you're worthy of being here. We love y'all. Y'all the shit. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for listening to this mess of a podcast that we have sometimes, because we be all over the place. Shout out to everybody who still takes shots every time we go on a tangent, because you're probably drunk right now as we speak. I am Iyeshadamali.
And I have been and still am and will be Sid the Great.
We are going to turn back up that Christmas Gift by Amber Hairston. We love y'all. And roomies, I mean, y'all can't stay here. Y'all can't stay here. Y'all gotta go. Peace.
All I want for Christmas, you are. All I want for Christmas. When I look at you, my heart heart is so full. Nothing could ever compare to the feeling you give. Ooh, you give.
The joy that warmth inside, got that look in your eyes. I can't really deny. You got me hypnotized. Your kisses taste like wine. Miss you, that's no surprise. With you, it's all worthwhile.
You are all I want for Christmas. You are all I want for Christmas.
All I want for Christmas. All I want for Christmas. All I want for Christmas.
This year, I have the best gift ever. I'm so thankful for you. Merry Christmas, my love. I'm grateful to have you in my life.